So without wasting much time, let's just go straight to what we are here for. Relationship. Baggages. Now, when we were chatting and going back and forth and, there are different aspects to this. The aspect of some people came up and said, I've never been in a relationship before, so I don't have a baggage. Some people say, okay, so I've been in a relationship before. Okay, I might have some hurts here. I might have some bass boosts here and all this kind of stuff. And so for those that have never been in a relationship before, it's an opportunity for you to learn how not to have baggages. Yeah? Because there is a how not to have baggages. And then if you have baggages, it's an opportunity for you to learn how to deal with it. And we just move on and get better and grow and improve, you understand? Now, it has a lot to do with various aspects. Now we're talking about, that kind of relationship that is in your mind. In your mind. We'll go into other ones, as we unravel, Livelystone. So I'm just going to invite our panelists. The first person I'm going to invite is, how do I introduce her? I will just say that she's the mother of the house. She's an HR specialist. She's a wonderful person, a sweet person. When she handles the mic, I can assure you your life will not remain the same again. So make sure you keep those questions coming and let's have a ball tonight. Help me welcome Pastor Olushade Paul Rotwa, the wife of the senior pastor of Kingsville Church International. You're welcome, man. Thank you very much for coming to for honoring our invitation. I also want to invite someone who believes so much in a lady, but she believes so much in masculinity. She loves to raise boys into men as they are supposed to grow up with the right mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mrs. Wumi, or should I say Barrister Wumi Alode. She's a lawyer also. Please, ma, have your seat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Okay, so the last person is not yet around. I think there's a flood somewhere on Herbert Macaulay. Where is it? Maybe it's the cap or something. Okay, so help me also welcome a businessman extraordinaire. Wait, now calm down. Wait. So we were talking about some things last week, and when he handles the mic, we talked a little bit about this meeting last week, and he said some things about where you start from, because where you start from and how you start is going to go a long way in determining whether you will have baggages or you not have baggages. We seem to share the same ideology along that line, but don't worry. He'll get on it. So help me welcome Mr. Femi Ayekun, a.k.a. Mr. Gaza. I think we have a very, very good panelist. I'm just going to hand the mic over to them. But before I do that, I also invited a friend. And we've been together from secondary school. From Ijebu Grammar School. That's like, how many years ago? Like 30 years? Because we celebrated our 30 years that we actually came out of secondary school some time ago or something. Yeah, over 30 years. So help me welcome my friend. He's an IT specialist. He helps me to build businesses right from scratch and take it to the top. He's an entrepreneur, help me welcome Tolu Akiton. Tolu Akiton worships with Covenant Christian Center, but he also mentors. He's a mentor. He's a mentor for a lot of youths, a lot of youths in schools, universities, and all this kind of stuff. Please help me welcome Tolu Akiton. I'm sure he'll be chipping in one or two things as we go on in this conversation. So I will hand the mic over to my president to help me come and jumpstart this discussion. There are questions, so maybe we should start with our questions and just throw them, and then the panelists will help us, just deal with them as.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome, everybody. Please let's welcome Emeka as he leads us in this session. Clap for him now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, panelists. And so I just want to state out an observation. So when they called out the panelists, like I saw everyone clapping and you were jamming your hands, and they called Emeka and nobody was clapping. That's more like it. So without wasting much of our time, there are a couple of questions that has been curated, and we hope the panelists will do justice to them. And so basically, I want to ask, how many of us are in relationships here? What do you say? Anyhow you call it, it's all relationship. How many of us has gotten served breakfast? Breakfast. Okay, how many people don't eat lunch now? Okay, so I want to jump right into like the first question here. Okay, so there's this one here. How young is too young to be in a romantic relationship? I don't know. Does anybody want to take that? How young is too young to be in a romantic relationship?
Hallelujah. Okay. So how young is too young to be in a romantic relationship? Because the question is very clear. If you say how young is too young to have friendship, I would say friendship starts from the cradle. When you're in nursery school, you will have friends and all of that. But when we're talking romantic relationship, it's getting more serious. It's having a direction. You are going somewhere. So for me, I believe that the age of getting into a romantic relationship is the age where, for me, it doesn't have an age. A particular specific that I would say, okay, it is 18 years, it's 19 years, because sometimes it's depending on your environment, it's depending on your circumstances, yes? So you can see somebody, like, for example, when I was in school, I left school, I graduated at the age of 24. Most of our young people now graduate at the age of 21. So if I say it is 25 or 26, it is not realistic within the context of the environment in which they find themselves. So for me, I believe that the age of being in a romantic relationship is the age at which you know that you are ready to get pregnant and ready to get to be a father. No, I'm serious. Because this is how I see it. If you are 21 and you're ready to get married, you will have a child, all things being equal. Yes? Am I correct? All things being equal. Unless you decide that, oh, okay, you want to have time. But the moment you guys marry, the next thing everybody will be looking for is the baby bump. Do you understand? So for me, when you are ready to say, you know what, this particular relationship, I'm going somewhere, and the end of the day is I will become a father or a mother or a husband or a wife, then that age, I will say you are ready for a romantic relationship. So if you are ready at the age of 21, it's fine. If you're ready at the age of 28, it's fine. If you're ready at the age of, because you need to be emotionally mature to handle that relationship. If you're not emotionally mature to handle such a relationship, you have no business being there. You can be friends. You can have a lot of people who are friends with you, but a romantic relationship, and I'm being specific with that word. If you had not used that word, I wouldn't have gone that far, but a romantic relationship, you must be ready to say, you know what, if anything goes south, I'm ready to be a dad or a mom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. So one thing for me, or one thing that stood out for me in the whole analogy is being emotionally mature. So if you are emotionally mature, it doesn't matter the age. I feel like you can, go ahead and do it. So I think Bro Gaza has something he wants to say.
I'm in total agreement with Pastor Shade. I just wanted to just add a little to what she said. First of all, legally, the lawyer will tell you that once you are 18, you can go to jail. Sure, you can vote, you can get your driver's license and all that. So you've reached an age where you can make such decisions. However, it could be lawful for you at 18, but it might not be expedient. Just like she said, you are not thinking of marriage at 20. What do you want to do with a romantic relationship at 18? Are we together? If at 18, because you are legally permitted to take such step, for example, by the law of the land, it doesn't mean you should. So like she said, when you are emotionally ready, when you are all that and all that, you can decide to step into one. I can use myself as an example. I remember when I was in the university, for the opting time, studying pharmacy. At that time, I was, in terms of age and all that, I was ready, in quotes, older than a lot of my contemporaries. But I knew I was not ready. It wasn't about my emotions. It was just that, personally, I knew I was carrying a lot of stuffs on my head, and I wasn't going to treat that woman right if I got into a relationship at that time, because I wouldn't be able to give what I believed would be needed for her to enjoy that relationship. So I had a lot of friends, younger friends, who will gather around me. I will talk about relationship. I will coach them. In fact, we'll write scripts of how to go and toast and all that. Whether in fellowship, in our all and all that and all that. I guess why not? Don't worry. I kept giving excuses, but I knew within myself that I wasn't ready. Are you with me? I knew within myself that I wasn't ready. I'll give you an example. A lot of you know my wife. I've known her for 29 years or so. My younger brother at the time said, that's your friend. I said, that girl is not. I gave an excuse. I said she had very thin legs. My wife today, do you understand? Because I wasn't ready. I wasn't going to follow do you understand what I'm saying? I said, no. She's this. I just found one excuse at that time. It seemed reasonable to me, but deep within myself, I knew it was because I was not ready. There were guys around me that I encouraged, that we even match made and all that and all that and all that, but I wasn't ready. Like Pastor Hadi said, biologically, you might have been ripe in that sense. Legally, you might have been of age, but there is a lot involved. Some of you got into university at 16. Some might not have got into university until they were 20. So you feel like you still have a long journey ahead of you. I would wonder why you would want to be distracted too early just because you are 21. You are in 100 level. Are we together? Because a lot of times you don't have a clear picture of the direction you are going yet at that time, irrespective of your age. While your 21-year-old classmate just graduated and is already in a relationship, you don't have to get into one, because your path, as it were, or your paths are different, and your own path is not yet clear to a certain extent for you. You want to go on a journey with somebody, you don't even know your path. How do you know if you can journey together? Are we together? So there are a lot of things involved. So you can't pin a particular age to it. It has to be individualized. It has to be dependent on each individual, each person. I know homes where once you are 21, you are free to bring somebody home and say that I'm dating this person. Like my wife's home, that was the way it was. Once you are 21, the mother will be like, I don't want to see anybody hanging around. They were all girls, 5. Bring that person. I want to know the person that comes to see you, or that you go to whatever. I want to see them and all that. But it doesn't mean that exactly at 21, everybody will bring somebody. It has to be for you at your own time and all that. I think that's all I want to add to that for now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do you have anything to say, Ma, or add to it? Oh, okay. So, does anyone have a question regarding what has been said? Okay.
Although the question is broad. Yeah, and it was based on what you said about being ready. So the question is, what really does it take to be ready? We are deviating a bit away from, the core of what we are here for. But like we said at the beginning, it's also an opportunity for you to learn how not to have baggages. You understand? So what really does it take? Like, I was sitting down there and I was thinking when you were talking about, okay, Sister Shade talked about, maybe like a 21-year-old getting pregnant, or maybe an 18-year-old getting pregnant. Question, who's going to raise the child? Can you buy nan? You understand? How much of your money is going to go into the food, the clothing, the hospital bills? You understand? And several other. You understand? It's not just the emotion. You understand? Would you have the other things that are required? Even if you have the emotion in place, okay, how much of your money will go into raising that child? It's still your parents that will raise the child. So what really does it take? You understand? To say, okay, I am ready for a romantic relationship. I know it's a lot, I know it's broad, but we can just touch a bit about it, today.
It's working now.
I'll try. I'll try to start from somewhere, I'm sure. Marriage involves the totality of a person. It's not just the financial. It's not just about parenting. It is mental as well. And I think that is where the major work is. The emotion, the mental state that you need to be in. In today's world, we call it emotional intelligence. How emotionally intelligent or emotionally prepared are you? Because even in marriage, we hear a lot about they serve you breakfast in relationship. Even in marriage, you can be served breakfast. But it is how you handle the breakfast. It is how you handle it. It is how you turn it around. So if you are not emotionally ready, again, back to the question, what does it take to be ready? For me, it is holistic. It goes beyond just the finances, because even the finances would test you. Particularly when a woman earns more than the man, or because it's a lot of emotional roller coaster. And for me, I would say, which is why the question is, your finances when it comes to raising the child, taking care of the spouse as well is also important. You need to work as well, because you also need a sense of fulfillment by working. All of this put together would affect your output in terms of how to relate with that person. There's a lot of focus on the emotion, but it goes beyond just the emotion. Is the other person also ready? What are the goals? What are the directions you even want to take in the first place? Is it clear? Is it set? Do you even know what it takes, what it entails before you even venture? So for me, it's a whole lot. It goes beyond just the consequences of getting into a romantic relationship and having children, but the totality of your well-being, from a spiritual, financial, emotional, and I would say material well-being. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma, for that input. So, having dwelt or shed light in the aspect of romantic relationship, we all know that in this age and time, we handle hurts, we handle breakups or heartbreak, breakfast as it's called, differently. So, to the next question, what are the necessary steps or processes a person can take in order to completely heal from hurt? I have something to say to that. So, I personally, I'll block anybody. Yeah, for your mental, I'll block you. I will not even see you. I don't want to see you. Whoever, anybody. I just want to be by myself, So, but it may not be the best. So, how do one completely heal from that?
In this day and age, you say you block, you block everybody. It's easy to say that if you are you are able to do that. For example, the first thing when you are when you are hurt, the natural tendency for any human being, I think I dare to say that it is something that is in every one of us, is that we want to come first to a point of safety. So we want to recoil. We want to separate from whatever it is that is the harbinger of that hurt. And it's natural. So yes, I would say that when you are hurt, the first thing you need to do is, first of all, you need to save yourself. You need to save yourself. So first of all, try as much as possible to get out of the environment, the immediate environment of that hurt. But sometimes it's not always as easy as that. Let's assume that you are the person that hurt you is working in the same organization like you, or the person just lives down the street. Are you going to resign? You will not eat again because somebody hurt you, or you will now tell your parents, "We need to pack." They'll be wondering, pack to where? You understand? Because there are some things that have financial implications. All right. So for me, if you have that, like I said, the first thing is safety. If you're able to get out of that immediate environment, it's all well and good. However, if you're not able to get out of that immediate environment, you need to protect yourself. Protect yourself. So you need to get yourself, emotionally distant from that environment, even if you cannot be physically distant from that environment. The number two thing I believe that you need to do is you need to forgive. You need to forgive, first of all, the person that hurt you. Because if you do not forgive, you will not go beyond that. Forgiveness is actually your gift to yourself, not to that person. Because when you don't forgive that person, you are imprisoning yourself. Whenever you see the person, whenever you hear the person's name, whenever anything that has to do with the person comes up, you will feel that rush of emotion again. The devil will bring up all of those things. And it can cause a lot of things for you, even with respect to your health. So the number one thing after you've been able to, get out of that is forgive the person. Nobody said it's easy, but you need it for your mental well-being. Because if you're not careful, you will notice that whenever the person's name or maybe where you normally go, anything that pertains to the person that you can relate with the person, when it comes up, you begin to feel those hurts once again, and it's not good for your health. Number two, you need to forgive yourself. A lot of times we punish ourselves for what people have done to us. Oh, if only I had known. And they told me, and they told me, and you begin to, put a lot of, self-guilt, punish yourself. If I was not stupid. I've lost money. This kind of relationship, 3 years. You understand? You need to forgive yourself. You are human. You can make mistakes. Number three, you need to forgive the environment that brought about that hurt. And I'm going to explain it further. Friends. It could be your friends. It could be your family. It could be institution. It could be church. Right? So you need to forgive. You need to forgive anyone that has, there are some people that, like you said, they will block everybody. All their friends, their joint friends. You just block everybody. You understand? You don't need it. You need to let them go. You need to release them. I had a colleague who she had a bad marriage. And when I joined the organization, she had stopped going to church. She had stopped going to church. This is the daughter of a pastor. Her father was a pastor, maybe a big pastor, relatively big in a big church. Her mother is a pastor. But by the time I met her, she wanted nothing to do with the church. Reason, she said that when she was going through her issues with her spouse, with her husband, they kept telling her to stay there, stay in the relationship. And everybody practically were blaming her that she was the one that did not allow the relationship to work, even though they were not in her shoes. And so when she decided that, I'm done with this relationship, I want out, I want a divorce. Rather than supporting her, they were, putting blame on her. They would call her parents, this is your daughter of a pastor, things like that. So by the time she got out of that environment, where she was living with her parents and all of that, she cut everybody off. She cut church off. She cut everybody off and felt that, look, church is just a bunch of hypocrites, and all of that. And it took time for her to heal. I kept talking to her. It's not anybody's fault. You need to forgive. Today, she's a very strong member of another big church. She has healed. She has moved on. In fact, she and her ex-husband are now on talking terms and all of that. But she needed to forgive. So sometimes you need to forgive the environment, friends, institutions. Number four, you need to get into a place where you can trust again. Because a lot of times when those kind of things happen to us, we just, we want to stay away. You don't need it. You need gradually, you need to start coming out of your shell and seeking meaningful relationships that, friends that can help you to, heal and all, and then you will have to take a risk again. So for me, I think that process. First of all, get out of the environment. Number 2, forgive the person. Number 3, forgive yourself. Number 4, forgive the environment that brought it out. Number 5, try to start, cultivating the relationship again. At least put a little feet in the water. Test the waters. Everybody's not the same. Like people will say, if you close your eyes, that bad people should pass. Good people too will pass. And you will not know. All right? And then try and start another relationship again. Praise God.
Hallelujah. So,
Can I?
okay.
Okay. This scripture comes to mind, and I like us to just pay attention to it. The Bible says that guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life. Another version says that be very careful about what you think. Your thoughts run your life. Piggybacking from what she just said, what you allow in your thoughts, it's called the battle of the mind. And I would say that you need to be very careful the kind of thoughts you entertain. Because you have had this experience does not necessarily mean that it is the same everywhere. Like she said, you need to heal yourself. You need to renew your own mind as well. Work on yourself. Open up yourself again. Otherwise, the good person would also pass by. Now, for those who have not been served breakfast as well, you also need to guard your hearts. Manage your expectations of people. Human beings, the best of a man is still a man. If you manage your expectations from the very onset, it would help you manage your hearts as well, and you can move on with life. I say this regularly. Differentiate the issue from a person. You can date a person and you have issues, but you know what? The next morning, you will see him or her and you will greet the person as though nothing ever happened. I know emotions are involved, but you see, managing your expectation from the very onset, managing your emotions from the very onset, it may work out, it may not work out. Even if it doesn't work out, you have prepared your mind from the onset to forgive the person and move on. And we also always say that all things work together for our good. You can also, build your mind on that if this doesn't work out, a better one is coming ahead of me. And if you have that mindset, it helps you to move on. It helps you to charge forward and not even see your ex as an issue. That person could even be a helper for you tomorrow and even respect you more for the fact that, things did not work out. I hope that helps. Thank you.
Sister Wumi ended it there. I just want to share this with us. The way I like to approach this is, what do you seek for in a relationship? Because I want to believe that question about what has to do with relationships. Pastor Shade gave a very robust example of how to handle it, but I think that's a lot more generalistic, handling odds. But for me, I like being very practical. I know of somebody who was jilted and felt so bad, and for years, she couldn't handle any relationship. She couldn't get into any relationship. Our younger sister once called me and said, "Do you know that she's still hurting?" I called her. She said she had forgiven the person. She has done this. She had done that. So we kept on going and on until one day I called. I said, "What do you think about this?" I said, "It's okay. It's somewhere, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Okay." So I asked her about, she said, "I forgave him since moving on with life." So what's happening? She was already into her late 30s. "No, I'm moving on with life." So what has been happening in the last 5 years? Story. And I asked her, I said, after that relationship ended the way it ended, do you feel any sense of loss? Did you feel any sense of loss? So she looked at me and was like, "I don't understand." I wasted time. I said, "Agreed, time, no problem." In that exchange, who do you think lost out? In that exchange, where the guy had to go away and you had to go your way, who do you think lost out? If you think you were going to be valuable to that person, and that person served you breakfast, don't you think that was that person's loss? Rather than you thinking that the person made you lose. Are we together? If you think you cannot get something better, if you had thought, like she said, managing your expectations, managing what you allow your mind to dwell on and accept, if you had thought that this person was your be-all and all that, you had thought that that was the pinnacle of everything for you. If that happens, it will be difficult to let go. It will be difficult to forgive. It will be difficult to think it could get better for you. So you don't put your hope, your trust, your everything in anybody. If you go in with intent to make that person better, no matter how good that person might seem, after all, when you are picking that person, the person probably was the best, in quote, among the people that you came across and you chose from. But that person should not just be like somebody you have set on a pedestal, like nothing else, can match this. So if you lose that person, you feel like, how can I get that kind of a person back? How can I get into, do you understand? Never have that. Go into a relationship to make that person better, to add to that person. So if that person, for whatever reason, jilts you, for whatever reason, breaks that relationship, you feel like the value I was going to add to this person, the person just lost out. Nobody else can give him or her what I was going to bring in. So somebody that is more deserving is going to come. It helps you to handle that. And it helps you to move on quicker, faster, without those baggages following you. Because if you don't do that, you'll be like somebody that is running that keeps looking back. You can't race well. If you know, I remember at a time I had two different friends, a guy and a lady. They were in the UK. Kilo Shele, there are no good girls here. The guy and the lady, there are no good guys there. One day I said, do you think you are a good guy? He said, yes. I said, I don't forget, I also think she's a good girl. And she says, there is no good person in the UK. We all studied pharmacy together. I said, the same thing for the guy too. So if you think you are good, this person thinks she's good. What's wrong with you people trying to see if you are good together? Now you have to come to it. Even the baddest of people will not agree that they are bad. They will think, I have some flaws, but I still have some good in me. Are we together? So if you know that you've got value to add to whoever you have a relationship with, if they hurt you to the point that you have to break up, don't take it so hard like life has ended. Just see that, I was going to make a mistake because this person doesn't seem to value what I carry, what I'm bringing. But that presupposes that you understand your own value and you keep adding value to yourself. And you seek to add value to whoever you get to relate with. That way, you will be able to move faster from it and move on. Really. Really. The person's lost and you move on. Thank you very much.
Please permit me. I sense that what really causes this hurt the most is the beginning of the question you asked, romantic relationship.
Yeah.
When you get involved in sexual relationship, while you are dating that person, you give a part of yourself. And that is why the expectations or the hurt is so much, because you feel, I have invested. I have been used.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
I've been used. So that is why, you see, when our Father says, avoid premarital sex, He knows the best for us. He knows what is good for us. We may not understand it, but He knows. I mean, you've heard stories about women who, after they have gotten married to somebody else, they are still going back to sleep with their ex. The person who will not even marry them. So please, it's very important. Abstain from it. It's the best thing. Just abstain from it. it would save you a lot of hurt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay. He wants to say something.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to approach this whole discussion from two angles. A very neutral angle about relationships, right? Neutral in the sense that how many of you, when you are entering any relationship, speak to God? Somebody is flashing smile at you. Do you consult God? It's a problem we're in. You see, the moment, look, whether you are entering an ordinary friendship or a romantic relationship, always take God. Always take God along. Because you feel that God is going to be stopping you in that romantic relationship. No. You see, all these things that the panelists are talking about, if you had God beside you, and it's not difficult, it's a step-by-step guide. Okay, I'll give you an instance. I had a bad relationship with my father, albeit it's still a relationship. I was born again Christian. No. I had preached to my dad, but for some reason, we didn't get along, and it was burning me up that each time I prayed, God was like, he's always like, brother born again, have you spoken to your father? The relationship was terrible. Up until one day God sat me down and said, look, guy, this is your dad. You have to do 1, 2, 3. So I humbled myself. And in fact, what did my dad do that made me so angry? Okay, I think when we finished secondary school, we had gotten used to reading at night. So when I got back home, I would be reading at night. By the time it's time for human beings to wake up, the Son of Man is going to bed. And that's the time my dad will come and bang on my door. Oh yeah, calm down. Why are you still sleeping? And I'm like, dude, this is not what I signed up for. And okay, that caused a strain. Whereas it's something I could have just easily explained to him that this is how I roll. Can you try and understand? Anyways, that happened for so many years that it only took God for me to make up with my dad, to the point that I became his driver. I became his right-hand man. It got to a point my dad would ask me for advice. The first day he did it, I was like, I've been exalted to this position of giving this man advice. Because my dad, very smart guy. Very, very, very smart guy. He won't ask you for any. So, in any essence, what I'm trying to say is that whatever it is, whoever you are in a relationship with, take God along. He will guide you. Then I have some little advice for ladies. In fact, advice for ladies and guys. Don't have any relationship in the dark. When I say relationship in the dark, it also means that get God involved. And like you said about your wife, right? That the parents will ask anyone that is above 21, bring the person home. If you can just show, if you can just throw light onto whoever you are dating, things become better. Then, ladies, please, by all means, whenever you are entering any relationship with any guy, if you have a male figure in your life that you trust, take your guy to that male figure. Because, guys, you see, let me tell you something. Ladies, I'm going to break the bro code now. We guys can smell nonsense a mile away. Nonsense that you cannot even perceive, even if they opened it up to you. We know what, when a guy sees a guy, there are some unspoken things that we can say, bros, yes, now, we know now. Ah, that's normal. Ah, can't work. Without us saying anything sensible, we have said a lot. Is it true, sir? So if you think that you are entering a relationship with any brother and you are hiding it from your brother or your father that you trust, that you talk to, you have done yourself a disservice. Even your guy friends that you trust, by all means, take your new boyfriend to your guy friend to assess for you, because you can't see what the frequency that we guys are operating on. We would have sold you without you knowing. So please, my advice to you, take God into every relationship that you have. Every single one. And it goes to the guys too. I mean, you don't know who is who. It only takes God for you to really, when you involve God, everything becomes crystal clear. Where is this guy going? Or where is this lady going? For guys, one sister begins to smile at you, begin to pray immediately. I'm not trying to be spiritual. I'm just trying to be, because for me, that's it. Samson might not have gone through the problem he went through if he had just taken time to speak to God. Wait, how far? But you see, we all want to hide it. And anything that you hide, you do in the dark. Well, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Let me
sir.
just add something to that. And it's very important. He said some things. I thought we were going to get into it later, but yeah, it's fine. Let's just roll with that. We need to be very careful. I remember there was a particular, and it doesn't have to be brother outsiders or believers. I'll give you an example. I think I've said it before. I remember there was a particular guy when I was doing my master's program. There's this. I told God, I said, God, for the sake of where I have been, where I've eaten, where I've fed from spiritually, I want you to just, I limited God to 3 different organizations or religious bodies. I said, Lord, please, Rema Chapel, which is my home church, VCF, which is my fellowship in school that I worship at, and then BCC, Bible City Church, because I know the pastor and I know the kind of word they are saying. They're teaching them there. So I told God that, God, within these 3 areas, these places, this is where I want you to pick a husband for me. So up come this brother. I was doing my master's program, so I was living off campus. And then he ticked the box. He's a brother. I know him very well. And he was a member of VCF. So it was like everything was jolly, jolly, right? But I prayed about him, and I really didn't have too much of a rest in my heart. But I ticked all the boxes. He had a car. He had 2 cars. So I told myself I would start my life with a car. You understand? Because he had an official car and he had a personal car. Yeah. He was from the same fellowship that I was, so I felt everything was okay. All right. But I prayed about it and I didn't have a peace in my heart about it. But I wanted to just do Shangri and just use Agidi. Now, God brought some people into my life. If another next door neighbor asked me and said, what's this guy about? Is he somebody that you are dating or something? I said, no, he's just a friend. He's a brother. First of all, he's a brother and he's getting friendly with me. He said, I don't know about this guy. She just said that. Then we had some mutual friends together. We had mutual friends. So I called one of them and I said to him, I said, K, if I marry wrong, my blood will be on your head. I'm telling you. I say, if I marry wrong, my blood will be on your head. I said, this person is your friend. He's my friend. He's a mutual friend. Tell me, Hoha, can I marry Kola? He said, I didn't know. straight up. He's not a bad guy. He said, not be say the guy bad. Do you understand? But you can't handle this guy. This guy is a very traditional person. His wife must kneel down, give him water. You know, those kind of things that I will not be able to handle. He said, Shade, you can't marry Kola. And that was it for me. So, like he said, expose it. They know the kind of person their friends are or who the person is. They can sense it a mile away. They'll be able to tell you. But if you're hiding it, no, I don't want anybody to know. When your casala bursts, don't call us so. You understand? Because that is what happens. That is unfortunately what we go through as pastors. I have been in a couple's home till 1 in the morning, counseling, talking. When we were going home, I was praying for myself and my husband, our safety. On that Maryland, I was saying, God, we went to do your work. Don't let us die on this road. Because at that time, Maryland was horrible. They used to do there was a lot of robberies there. You understand? So there are so many things that you can avoid if only you will take God along and expose such relationships to the light. Praise God. I just wanted to use my own experience.
If I may just add one angle to it. For me, I think all of you are already praying about your relationships, whether you are in one or not. Because the starting point for me, the starting point is that as soon as you are of age, legally, like I said earlier, be praying about it. The Bible says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered of God, isn't it? You start praying far ahead before you even think of settling on somebody or considering anybody. So that just adds to the point he made that God was part of it from the beginning. When you are not even thinking of having anything with anybody. Because a lot of times, when you wait until your mind and your emotion begin to get involved, your listening ears or listening heart can be a bit clouded, you know. If God has been a part of it and you go about this in faith as well, are we together? You go about this in faith as well, checking your heart along the way. That's where bring that particular person. God, that matter we discuss. This Shade girl be like say she dey. About how the matter will be. Do you understand? You begin to check out with him because you had this discourse with him. You had prayed far ahead. We used to pray in tongues for hours just about our marriage, about our future, without knowing. You don't know what you are praying about. You just pray without anybody in mind. You just pray. So when you are ready and you begin to want to consider, then you can easily go back to him and say, this person, how it will be. Do you understand? So part-time. Yeah. Okay.
How many of us are actually praying in tongues about our relationship as we are, as in we started
Whether you are in one or not.
whether you are in it or you are not, we have started praying actively about it.
Just pray about it. Say things about it.
So you don't make it.
I said, okay.
You're not praying about
A person. You're praying about your life. That aspect of your life.
you are praying about your marital life. You know what I'm saying? You can see what I'm saying. So we cannot make assumptions. You cannot assume. You don't pray about a person. You pray about the institution. Spend time to pray. Sorry. Oh. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that let's not make assumption. You can see now. You need to pray about the marriage, not the person. Then God will bring the person of the marriage.
So as you meet people and you begin to check your heart, you begin to ask God, you have discussed marriage. And it's the union between you and the person that will make a marriage, isn't it? So you can begin to check. It's easier to be well aligned. Yeah, so let's move. Yeah. Okay. You wanted to stick to the
Let me just quickly add something to the prayer, whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be 1 hour prayer.
No, no.
You understand? I know of somebody who, should I say I know, I heard of somebody, she just prays 5 minutes every day concerning her relationship. Is it that she prays in tongues or she just makes declarations? You understand? I will never marry wrong. I will marry right. I will marry right. You understand? 5 minutes a day and she doesn't miss it. And the person is enjoying the life of her head in her marriage right now. So it doesn't, I mean, chopping the life of her head. So it doesn't have to be 1 hour. You can just dedicate 5 minutes every day and say something, just declare something concerning your marriage. That's
Thank you very much, Ma. So we have some questions online too, and we have one question.
Sorry. I think we are delving into marriage. We are talking about relationship.
Well,
We have been delving into marriage. I'm particular about us sticking with relationship.
Okay.
It was romantic. If there is romance, it's ending somewhere. That was why marriage seemed to peep into it. Or are we planning for romance just for the sake of romance? Hello? Do we intend to get into romance for the sake of romance? So once you qualified it as a romantic relationship, we presume, based on scriptures, that it's only one that is aimed at marriage that should be romantic. Are we together? That was why when you go like this, marriage will pop up. Do you understand? Yeah. But if we had said friendship, we probably won't be talking about some of the things we've talked about.
all right. So we have this question. It says, "What if your relationship with a person, a family member, is toxic, and you actually need to separate yourself from the person? What's God's take on that?" All right. What if your relationship with a person, a family member, is toxic, and you actually need to separate yourself from this person? Yeah. So what's God's take on that?
Are you very well?
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes you need to go through that toxic relationship to learn patience, to learn how to deal with people. My elder sister was a very toxic person. We talk about it today. We're the best of friends today. She showed me Pepe. My biological sister, she showed me Pepe. But one day, God told me that you need to learn to deal with this person in order for you to have successful relationships out there. So even when I met bosses that were tough on me, I had used that as a learning ground. I had used her to practice 1 Corinthians 13. Patience, forbearance. You will love her even despite anything. So if you cannot love that person, what tells you that you will love the man you will marry or the woman you will marry that would also show you Pepe inside the house?
Okay.
So please enjoy that season and use it to learn how to love.
All right. Ma, are you saying we should stay because this person is a family member?
If you don't have where to go, whether even you have anywhere to go, let's even imagine you have the opportunity to step out of the house. My point is, you need to learn to manage that relationship. As a Christian, the essence of 1 Corinthians is for you to work it out, to live it out, irrespective of who the person is. So use that as a basis to love. Whether you are inside the house with the person or you are outside of the house, but you must love the person. The Bible says, "Oh, no man anything but to love."
All right. Thank you very much.
If I may say,
Can I clarify? Because I can see some hands up. Now, when you're talking about toxic relationship, toxic relationship, they're in degrees. Some can be violent, can be very violent. Are you getting what I'm saying? Some can be emotional, verbal. They will just be draining you, talk down on you. You see your head, idiots, this one, that one. Do you understand? You can't amount to anything. Do you understand? We need to begin to, like she said, if it is a violent relationship or there's physically violent, you may need to get other family members involved such that they can separate you. But if it is those ones that is emotional or, verbal, you need to develop a thick skin. Because you see, a lot of our young people today, you believe that, this mental wellness, it has made you people so weak that you cannot withstand pressure. I'll give you instances. One of my teachers in my school constantly used to tell us that we will not amount to anything as a school body, students. She went as far as saying that we should have been used as menstruation. She went as far as saying we should have been aborted. A teacher in our school. We did not go mad though. We didn't go crazy. We didn't have mental awareness. You know what we did? We packed her at one corner. We go, we man changing. We rate no more. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you can imagine hearing this for 5 years. What will you take? Last case, you say your parents should take you away from the school. In those days, they don't have that kind of luxury. You stay there. So we developed resilience. We got to the point where she's talking like this. We're seeing her, we're not hearing her. We're seeing her, we're not hearing her. Do you understand? Because you see, when anything that God brings your way, sometimes it's a lesson in disguise. If you leave that place, you say, it's too tough for you, it's too hard for you, you left. You went another place. Where you they go? You know where they find. So that they say, the devil you know sometimes. Maybe better than the angel you don't know. Then you enter the work environment and you meet a mega toxic boss. That the whole management is on his side because he delivers. What are you going to do? You will leave that work. Then you start going to another work again. You can't see what I'm saying? And that's what I tell my children. When they say, this is what I say, stay there. Develop a hard, tough skin. Because life will never always be fair. You are here. What if you go to abroad, in the abroad? They are facing pepe, racism, and you cannot talk. Because that's where you are getting, you brought you there. You have not finished the payment of the loan. Do you understand? So sometimes we're breeding weak people. Nothing says, for me, as long as it is not violent. For me, violence is but if it is not violent, thing that does not kill you will make you strong.
Sorry, before I will hand over something. For me, like Pastor Shadi said, if it's not physical violence, if it's verbal violence, if it's whatever, emotional and all that. For example, if that person is your sibling, what do you want your parents to do? Go get another house for you? To move out of the house or what? No. Are we together? You are thinking of physically separating yourself away from that place because you think you have an option. Not everybody will have that option. Are we together? But you see, like Sister Wumi said, talked about 1 Corinthians 13 and all that. The way love is, Abi, is long suffering and all that. Bears under everything, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But the Bible says that you should follow peace with all men. That's where I'm going. Follow peace with that person. But you don't have to be the best of friends. He's your brother, he's your brother. You will love your brother, but you don't have to be the best of friends. Best of friends will mean that you guys are, so well yoked together and you are obnobbing and all that. The person can keep pouring that same toxicity into you. Are we together? You love the person, as a brother. The person is a child of God like you, as a fellow believer and all that. But you don't love their toxicity, and you avoid the opportunity of that toxicity being poured into you. But you follow peace. You don't retaliate. You don't wish them evil and all that. Are we together? And you don't allow that person define you. You don't seek validation from such a person or anybody at that, let the validation of who you are come from your God and your Father. Are we together? So you see yourself as God sees you. As long as that is, whatever the person says about, look at the example Pastor Shade gave. A teacher saying that all of you should have been, wasted away with your menstrual, whatever, or should have been aborted and all that. You amount to nothing. If you allow it settle in you and you dwell on that, you will lose the drive to even aspire or to do anything. You see, you learn to shut your mind from whatever that person is saying because that person doesn't define you. Or whatever that person is doing. If it's physical, like we said, you must seek intervention. Seek to draw boundaries where the person cannot go beyond this. If the person tries, you get the people that intervene involved, and eventually one of you might need to be taken away and all that and all that. But if it's not physical, if it's verbal, if it's emotional, if it's whatever, it's because you are attached in a manner that allows them keep doing that. Ensure you are cocooned, you are sequestered. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are sequestered from whatever they are bringing. They don't define you. It doesn't get into you. You just seem like some sound that don't make any sense to you. My view.
So, this toxic something, it defines my father. I didn't know how to say the English then, but thank you for adding this toxic, because there was a day my father slapped me. My head hit the fan. That day, you could switch on the fan from my head. It will work. Because the thing entered. Right? So, was I going to leave my father's house? So, just like what Pastor Shade said, seek somebody within the family. So, I went to my sister and we started speaking in scriptures. I brought out, says, my sister said, honor your father. But me too, I brought out scripture. Let the father not provoke the child. Right? At that point, we had to agree that, look, young man, you cannot behave in a certain way. Because yes, me too, I used to carry shoulder. Then I used to lift weight. My chest used to come out. My father was slightly, just like that. Right? It gets to a point where wisdom is profitable to direct. Right? Once again, you have to involve God in it too. Because there's no toxic situation God cannot save you from. I will jump into school. Just like you said about your teacher, my teacher told me that I will not pass mathematics. You probably did not know about that. I read mathematics. I failed mathematics in secondary school, only to study mathematics in university. How do you add that together? You just have to develop a thick skin. It's not what they say about you, it's what you say. What God has said about you that you stand on, that is going to, anybody can call you anything, but if you allow it, just remember David and Goliath. When Goliath spoke, David did not keep quiet. Sorry, he replied. You have to stand on the word. That's just. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So I have a question for all of us. Have you ever had feelings for someone that didn't like you back? Please raise your hands. Don't lie, please. Shaitan, don't lie. Don't lie. Just raise your hand if you want to see something. Some people are raising their legs. Okay. So have you ever had someone that had feelings for you, but you didn't like them back? Oh, Tom Watt is raising his hand. Okay.
Yes, no, they are.
All right. So someone asked a question. Person said, I have somebody that is showing interest in having a relationship with me. And the person is very serious, but it's been hard to like this person. He seems like a really cool person, which is a lady now, talking about a guy. He seems like a really cool person with what I've seen so far, but I've been very skeptical about him. What should I do? Because there are times where you actually, has expressed like immense interest in you, but you're just not interested, and you don't want to like cut the person off and break the person's heart and hurt the person's feelings. So that they will not save you breakfast now. Like sometimes you may not want to date somebody, but you might still want to have them in your life, just as your friend or something. Or some people maybe it's buying you things and you don't want them to stop buying you things. So sometimes it's like that. So what should she do?
I think
To
for me,
advise.
the question
advise.
is, what does the person want?
What does the person want?
I mean, is this just a relationship? Or
Okay.
this is somebody who is interested in you to the extent of marriage?
Well,
Because I mean, we need to be very careful here, and that was why we clarified that when you say a romantic relationship, there is an end game. It is not just for the fun of romance. I think this question has been answered indirectly. Can you take that person to meet some certain people? Another guy. If you recall, we've also talked about this in church. Go and see Uncle Lo. Go and see Brashek. Go and see. Take the person, like he said, they will decode the guy for you. Is this somebody? Now, I think there is also this misconception that if I don't feel this butterfly thing, go see connection. I'm sorry
Spark.
to say, when you look at the Bible, Abraham sent his servants. I know Gen Zs, we don't like to hear this, but I'm coming there. Abraham sent his servants. His servants prayed for the person who will marry Abraham's son, which is Isaac. And God gave Rebekah. Did they ever meet each other? Was there a spark? But did the marriage last? Yes. Did that relationship last? Yes. I think we need to move as Christians. We are not moved by feelings. Please. Some of us did not marry on the basis of emotions or love. You need to take it. Take a good man. Take a good woman. You will love the person. The Bible did not describe in 1 Corinthians love as a tingling feeling. It's a decision. Particularly when he's a responsible person, particularly when he's a God-fearing person, particularly if he's somebody that will submit to the instructions of God. I think the person really needs to, first of all, address in his or her head what she wants. I mean, does she just want somebody, just for the sake of the feeling, or there is much more? After that, you can then.
Let me add this. Sometimes we project what we are not sure about. A friend of mine was saying something that sometimes people are hotspotting hate now. You know what they call hotspotting hate? It's not your hate. It's somebody else's hate that they've hotspotted to you. So you are reacting to that person in the way that somebody else. So it's like you are being controlled. Sometimes when you see those relationships, when that kind of person, ask yourself, why don't I like this person? Is it because of past experience? Maybe somebody like him has done something to you before, or somebody has done something to someone you know who is like that before. Do you understand? Or bears the same name. Do you understand? So sometimes we are spotting things we don't realize. You need to settle down and say, okay, why don't I like this guy? Number one, what is he coming for? Is it just friends? Then why don't I like this guy? Is it just doesn't fit into the kind of person I like? Or I just see him like somebody, like I was watching something on TV, and the woman went for a divorce, and they were asking her, please, what's the basis of your divorce? And she said, it's too nice.
it's too nice.
He's too nice. And that she's always having this feeling that this thing can't last. This thing can't last. This thing can't last. This thing can't last. Do you understand? Why? Because she has been used to people, the relationships has been used to where both relationship. They will slap her, they will beat her. So the judge, it was a divorce setting. I watched it. The judge said, what does this man do to you? Said, he makes breakfast for me in bed. He takes care of me. He carries my children to school. He provides money. But I have this feeling that this thing will last. It's not real. It's not real. So let me kukuma read before he shows his true color. Do you understand? Let me just kukuma break it because I know the judge watched that and said, see your life. God gave you opportunity, but because you are used to punishment. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we need to be very, very careful. It happened to me too. When I got our driver, the driver that stayed longest with us, he stayed, was it not 11 years? Mr. Ajayi? 11 years. But do you know that before I could get comfortable with this man, it took about 5 years. Why? I just felt that he was not real. He was too nice. He would carry my bag. He would ask about my children. He would do this. Before I asked him, he would do it. I said, But we'll drive at Timotiri. Before that time, I've worked with 4 or 5 drivers who were mad. And this man was old enough to be my uncle. He was 60. He would have been 68 this year. So it just doesn't make sense that I can have a good driver. Are you getting me? So sometimes there are some things that we have had as baggage. You know, we're talking about relationship baggage. There are baggages that have come with us. So when we see this, nice. He can't be nice. He's just trying to penetrate. When he penetrates now, we will see his true color. Settle down. Ask yourself, why is this coming up? Then if you've looked at everything and you've prayed about it and God says there's no road, tell him, brother, we can be brother and sister. That other one, and you've not found out whether he's married you. Maybe he just wants to be your friend. And you are already projecting. You are projecting. And you say, I never really had interest in you as a married wife. I just wanted to be your friend. So ask before you. It may even be your friend that is trying to reach.
Let's assume that it's even for a romantic relationship or a relationship that will lead to marriage. So the first place for me is back to our brother. It's always about God, and I'm with him. Are you perceiving that God is saying you should go ahead? If the answer is yes, God can say, like we said, God can say, go ahead. But you don't feel for that person. It's possible. Yeah. So if that is the situation you are in, this seeming proposition is for a relationship that is geared towards marriage. You pray about it. You sense that you should go ahead, but I don't have this spark for this person. If that is the case, then I think it's worthy of being discussed. But if it is not, I don't know what kind of advice I want to give for somebody that is begging to forcefully like somebody. Do you understand what I'm saying? To what end? You choose your friends. Friendship doesn't just fall on your laps. Do you understand what I'm saying? You choose your friends. So if you've gotten a go-ahead to go ahead with this person, but you just don't feel that spark, then we come down to what Pastor Shadi said.
Pray about it.
Pray about it. Why?
Because it happened to me. I didn't like Pastor Paul. Yes. You don't know.
I
just know it.
I didn't know.
She's always said it.
I say it a lot.
She's always said it.
When God told me that, I never liked him. I respected him as a pastor in my fellowship. But that was how far it was. He was a brother, and all of that. But when God told me that he was going to be my husband, I said, nah, God now. You two, they look now. This brother that is so black thing, doesn't have anything, pastor on top of it. What will I do with him? And it's not Yoruba. He had everything against him. Not one strike for him. Well, maybe word of God is a good boy. Do you understand? So I had to tell God that, God, you need to put his love in my heart because Kone walk. Do you understand?
I know a couple who are married for 12 years now. The lady was already 33, and she was still feeling like this person you guys. The lady is 47 now, and at 33 we made her with somebody. We met in that person. The person's friend was opening his house in Banana, so we went there. The person came in. He was a pastor, an assistant pastor in the church. to come and pray. So we brought her as part of the whatever. So we arranged for them to meet and all. After some time, she said that she didn't feel, just like this person, that she didn't feel nothing for the guy. I asked her about prayer as if she had prayed. She said she prayed. She didn't have any check not to go ahead. So I kept, pushing her, probing and all that. And she said, she said something that day. I remember that was when I was still in the corporate world in that sense. She along the line, she said she didn't know why. Then one day she just said, look at his dressing sense. He doesn't dress well. Look at how smart you dress. Look at he wore suit like. Now, the guy wore a smart suit, Italian actually, pinstripes, but he wore one checkered shirt inside. Do you understand? That was how the guy dressed. Yes. Wait, hold on, guys. I'm telling you. So she just said, look at how he dressed. It doesn't even. I said, oh, is that the problem? He said, no, not exactly. I just don't know why. I said, you just told me part of your problem. I said, look at this. Omolara. I said, you see, if you marry a guy that can put everything together, that has everything well put together, and you get into his house, you are going to be like an accessory in that house, contributing nothing to him. This dress sense that you think this guy doesn't have, you can teach him. If every other thing is set, all other things being equal, you are being led to go ahead, every other thing you've checked, it's okay. If it is this, and things that you can influence, with all seriousness, go ahead. You see, when you get in years to come, the guy will look back and be like, God, there was a time I used to be like this, even not for this woman that I married. And then you have added to his life. Not like his life is set. You are like all this chandelier and all that you just come out. You can remove anything from the house and the house will stand. So you are not so important, so integral to his life. If you don't have much, you are going to add when you come in. He said, I said, yes. You on your own, with his money, buy that same whatever for him. When he's going in the morning, you tell him, okay, why don't you, it doesn't work like this. Come on, it doesn't, do you understand? They are married and they are doing very well together. Because I could do that because she said she had prayed and there was no check not to go ahead. But in the course of probing, she just blotted that out that, look at how he dresses. Now, funnily, as a guy too, the guy used to put his trouser here. Do you understand? Yes, his trouser here and all that. But hey, he doesn't do that now. He's gotten so, no, I'm serious. But that was that. If the background is already set, that God says go ahead, it is this feeling thing. Feelings don't just come from the air. They are always fed. I hope you know. They are always fed. If you keep feeding it, it will come. If you stop feeding it, it will die. That's the way it is. It doesn't just exist in a vacuum on its own and keep living or die. It has to be fed or starved. Either way, you determine the end. So, if other things are said and you have no check, or you are actually prompted to go ahead, if it is about feelings, then you should sit down and ask yourself questions, or you get people involved to ask you so that you can think deeply and see if why you don't have that spark from your side is something that you can work on and work on it. But if you don't have the check, there's no point finding out whether you're trying to like the person or not. There's no point. Thank you.
Okay. So this is a spin-off of what Reverend Mrs. said, and I'm very glad you mentioned it. We had a conversation about that instance, that Kaka's relationship, for instance. And a number of people said a lot of things, and Stanley was there too, that too nice sometimes can be boring. Like it can just be, what are we doing? I know. I'm saying what, I'm saying what they say, yes, and they are here, so they know what I'm saying. So some people said that too nice is boring, that sometimes, let's just, no, I'm not saying you should slap me, I'm not, no, not that, no, not that. I'm saying like, there should be some chaos, quote unquote, drama, once, not chaos, okay, maybe not chaos, maybe Maybe, okay, drama, yes. So there should be like some drama once in a while. I'm not saying physical. Let's leave the physical part out. But like sometimes let me have to spiritual. No, no, not spiritual. No, not spiritual. No, no, no. I don't know if I'm passing. You guys understand what I'm saying? So sometimes I don't want to have to. Everything I ask you, you're just giving me. Why? Why are you doing that? Like, sometimes let me do some things. Let me whine you. Let me rub your head. Let me, like everything is just. Yeah, sometimes, so a lot of people said that sometimes, we need a little 1, 2 here and there just to, no, not me. Oh, people, they're here. They know what I'm saying. So yeah, what's your take on that? As someone that has been married for,
Okay.
years.
As a person, I've had too many dramas in my life growing up. Yeah? I drag clothes. I drag food. I drag where to sleep. I now meet a man that wants to make my life easy. I'm looking for baggage. I don't want. You see that one? I don't want peace. I don't want peace. And that's you people's own.
Yetunde, can you hear?
I don't want problem. I want problem here. I don't want. Because life is tough already. Are you getting me? I want somebody I can be with, and I'm looking forward to being with him. I don't want an unpredictable person. Do you understand? So today is very nice, and then tomorrow is baby. I mean, that is a Jekyll and Hyde. I don't want a Jekyll and Hyde relationship because I'm bringing myself, I'm bringing the totality of my being to the table. So what I'm giving you is what I want to get back. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see, sometimes our environment, it warps our mind. And that is why we need to, the word of God, we need to use it to reset, control or delete, reset our mind. Do you understand? Reframe it. Why would I want unpredictability in a relationship? You understand
Yes,
what I'm saying?
tell me, please. I want to hear from you.
So on this one, I'm not in alignment with Reverend Mrs. It depends on the spouse that you marry. If you have a very quiet spouse, that everything is just, you do it, he does it, you sometimes need the fun at home.
Yes.
No, so I'm on the charts.
Yes.
So
She understands.
My husband is a boring guy.
So maybe we should define the
Okay.
drama. Because for me, you
Okay,
need to
okay.
spark up the fun at home.
What they are seeking is fun, but their choice
Of what?
what
It's drama.
was the problem?
Do you understand? Like my husband, you people know that Pastor Paul can sit in one place like that. If you don't say anything, we don't say anything. But me, I will come and say, bro, so Alpha, with that one, even sometimes if he's watching something, I will say, we're going to watch Indian series. You say I want to watch channels, I will say it's Indian. We're going to watch. I want to watch my program. Do you understand? Sometimes he will get up, he will leave the room, I will watch my own.
And like a lamb being led to slaughter.
Do you understand? And there are times that he will say, no, I want to watch ball, I want to watch channels. Do you understand? That one is different. But there's fun and there's drama. Fun, we should chase ourselves in the house. Is that what you're saying? Some assault. You get what I'm saying?
Pillow fight.
You could do pillow fights. There are times that I will take his meat. Yeah, if you want to look for trouble,
yes.
do you understand? If you want to look, that is fun.
Just be naughty around. Is that what you're saying? Just be naughty.
It's
Don't
a
be.
different thing.
Yeah, but
No.
Do you understand? Not like there was a day a colleague of mine saw my husband and I said, Shade, this
please
man
now,
marry-
let's
how did this
listen.
man marry you? That your wahala is 3 level. I say, I think, you know that God gave me, I'm a gift to this man. Because his life would have been very dull. But I'm the one that is making his life very active. I can say, what's up? He say, whoa, we are going to, do you understand? That is fun. You understand what I'm saying? Or I can carry, sometimes I will just, I do crazy stuff at home. Yeah. I can do all sorts with him. That's fun. But if you're not saying, that, okay, today you will buy me food. Tomorrow we say, there's no food. Is that the one you are talking about?
No.
He says, I said, give me this one. He gives me. Then the next one, he will not say, you have to work for it.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want a Jekyll and a Hyde
I think
relationship.
we
But
have
if it is
defined it better,
kerepa, if it is to play around, go have restaurants, with spontaneous things.
I actually want
It's
Stanley
not just
to talk because
restaurant. You will take their phone, you will hide it. They will be looking for it. And you will be behaving as if you don't
like
know.
you don't know where it is. Like
You are not. I
no, you have to say you don't know where it is.
I can't say, why are you asking me? Did you give me your phone?
Exactly.
You just look for trouble. That kind of.
That's drama, actually.
Oh,
that
that
is
is what
drama.
you're talking about.
That is drama.
For me, I think that shouldn't be an issue if that's all we are talking about. Let he or she that is good at driving that be the one to drive. See, it is the truth. Was it Tommy what I shared something with, or was somebody? I remember there was this girl, Folusha Elebare. You should know her. Remember when we were working in one hospital together in Ibadan? She comes in. The first thing as she's talking to me, she's setting my table. Do you understand? And rearranging my whatever, because she used to take over from me in the afternoon. One day I looked at her because she got married as soon as she left school. She married one guy that had been like a Sunday school teacher much earlier and all that. So I just asked her, I said, Folusha, were there surprises when you got married to Joshua? They dated for like 5 or 7 years. She said, plenty. Oh. I said, what kind of? She said, many. I said, but you guys dated for 5, 7 years? Said, my brother, I said, were they pleasant? That's the important thing. She said, some pleasant, some not so pleasant, but nothing out of this world. I said, okay. She said, for example, I didn't know that guy was that scattered. I said, for 5 years. He said, no. He will come in, you see the remote control here, you see his shoes here, you see this, and I said, okay. She did all that, and I said, every day I'm doing that. I said, okay, that's good. But see, God knew what he was doing when he encouraged you guys to go ahead. She said, what do you mean? So you see, if he had not been the scattering type, I can say you are the arranging type. I can say you are the arranging type because you even arrange me here too. Do you understand? You'll be bored. But those are the things you keep complaining about. Can you see that sometimes we don't think about things thoroughly? Do you understand? I said, you get home, everything is set, you just go on in, you go in and come back, nothing to do, you be like, this house set, nothing happened. Exactly. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the truth. But the unfortunate thing is that every day you come, you are complaining about that thing that gives you something to do, that gives you drama. Are we together? So that's what we should look at. There must be a fine balance.
And that's what we're also talking about. Because, we also said these are some of the things that unconsciously a guy at home who hasn't experienced or doesn't experience it from time to time meets a fun lady out there. And before you know what is happening, he doesn't know that he's carried away with the fact that, there's something exciting out there. Somebody's giving me trouble out there. You also need to be able to spark up your own relationship in the best way that you think.
I agree with you.
Yes. I agree.
If it is that one,
best way,
Pastor
agreeable
Paul
way for
has
both
suffered
of you.
my life because you will find shoe here, you will find back there. No, if it's to craze, Pastor Paul, carry your towel. I'm not carrying it today. Carry your towel. That's different. You understand? That's different. But I think maybe that is
But
what
that will
I did
naturally
understand.
happen, I think.
You can carry your towel.
Sorry. So my point now is that would you blame her for divorcing him on those grounds?
Which ground?
That she's too nice now.
Senatorial way.
No.
Man is giving you food. They be serving you
That one was extreme. So that's an exceptional case.
No.
That one we're agreeing
No,
on.
because she had a problem.
had
She
been-
was carrying baggage, like we're saying.
badly-
She had
badly
been
fed.
she had been
Okay.
scarred. So all the relationships she had been in had been violent relationships. And so she had been what's that word in biology? You've been conditioned to believe that bad is good.
Okay.
And so when she didn't see the bad in the guy, she wasn't comfortable. Do you understand? But if it is somebody, do this, do that, and all of that, yeah, you can spice up your relationship.
Okay, so to close off the conversation.
Okay. Okay. So I just want to bring two relationships that I had to light. First one, I'll call her Lady A. When this was university. When she entered my life, very beautiful. She ticked all the boxes, in quotes. But I sat down with God and said, God, this young lady inside my life right now, how far with this girl? God said to me that, just be careful. It's like, be careful. Is a yes or no. So one day, she came to my house. As she was entering, God just said, open all the doors. I was like, open all the doors. Yes, open all the doors. So I left all the doors open. So we were just talking. Because for me, when I entered university, I said to myself, I ain't going into any relationship. I came here to read. That's all. Some period. Okay. So we're talking and talking and talking. She moved close to me. I shifted. Talking and talking, she moved close. Then it now started to becoming trial of kissing. Like, I ran out of my house. No, my house. Thank God the doors were open. And I'm not even trying to be spiritual here. No, spiritual. If I wanted to kiss her, I would have. But the fact that there was to before one is to before one, as in God had warned me that just leave the door open. Now, the lady and I are still friends. If I tell Lady A, kill this guy for me, she will. I'm not even joking. She will. Anything I ask her to do, she's that deep. She's that controlling. She's very toxic. Right? And this was what God was. I mean, you can't see beyond God. You can't see beyond him. We entered business together. She's still my friend, though. We entered business together, and I had been just working for her, doing stuff, helping her to build her brand. When she started making money, I didn't know. But one day, I ran into a problem. I said, I just mentioned to her casually, I need tires for my car. She gave me 5 tires, brand new tires. Then it was about 250K. Without batting an eye. Before I collected it, I said, God, it's 250K. No, exactly. I prayed before collecting it. So that question that I said that, this question that's led to, should we continue collecting? No. Be careful of what you collect from people. Because the Bible says a man's gifts will make a way for him. If I give, the more I give you something, there's something we guys do. It's called what do you call it? Grooming. You know, you are feeding a chicken. One day, it's not because you love chicken. Exactly. So if you don't know, let me just tell you. Now you know. Yes, now. second lady, right? I met her. I had finished university. I met her. She was still in school. I used to go and read in their school. I met her by some happenstance, and I really, really liked her. I didn't even like her. I loved her. By the time I laid the cards on the table and everything, she ran away. Right? Auntie, we are here. Yeah. Abby? Okay. She ran away. Years later down the road, I was asking her, why did you run away? Just like you people are saying, she said that I was too nice, that I was too good, that the love that I was showing, she had never seen it. She didn't believe it was real. At this point that we are speaking, I'm the one counseling her to stay with her husband. Because they give her drama constantly. On a daily basis, there's one drama or the other. I remember this, she's in the UK. I remember there was a time I went to the UK. I was the one, she was moving house. Her husband was nowhere to be found. I moved her house for her. I mean, I helped her to move. She said in 30 minutes we'll be done. I looked at the house. I assessed everything. I just said, you know what? I'm telling my people I'm not coming back home. This house, you will not do it in 6 hours. By the time we were done, it was like 1 a.m. She said, her husband was not nowhere to be found. She said that, what if you were not here? I said, that's why God brought me here. Now, I'm not trying to enter her life. Oh, we are just friends and we have defined it that way. Well, please, by all means, once again, take God on your journey on any kind of relationship. The drama that you are looking for, let me not say it. May you not find that drama. You will find fun, right? If somebody loves you genuinely, right, and that person takes all the way, don't look for drama, because whatever you pray for, be careful, you will get it.
Thank you very much, Uncle Tolu. I want to say a big thank you to all our panelists. Please, can I put your hands together for all our panelists? Pastor Shade, thank you. Auntie Wumi, thank you. Uncle G, thank you very, very much. Now, we've not exhausted our questions. And I said this last week. I said, I don't see us. Because it would be so, is it worth your time? Was it worth your while? You understand? I knew we weren't going to finish. And I suggested last week, I said, we're probably going to have to take this online. We're probably going to have to take it to Zoom. You understand? Whether it's going to be today or another day, well, I'm thinking maybe we should agree here. So which day? In fact, can I shock you? There are some church members that are in UK that sent in questions. You know, people are on YouTube. You understand? People are watching on YouTube. I have questions from all the way from UK. So it's really making impact. I won't lie to you. You understand? So when do you think we should? There's choir rehearsals. There's choir rehearsals. I want to stay. I want to trash it. So when can we fix this? You understand? Because there's a lot we still need to talk about. When can we fix this? Huh? Okay, we can chat to agree on a time. Okay, you want us to, we planned for, what did we plan for next month? Finance. Well, yeah. So what are you saying? We should do 2.0? Are you, if you want us to do 2.0 and you promise to be here next month? And Shade, can you make it second Saturday next month? Auntie Umi, Brother Gaza, second Saturday. Okay. Second Saturday. Face to face. Second Saturday. Sorry? It's okay. Uncle G. It's only Auntie Shadi that we are. They are whispering in my ears. Is that some people are saying that they are more concerned about their money than relationship? Maybe their relationship is settled already, They got it concrete. Then
Relationship will be
will
settled.
fall into place.
It's another.
Yeah. Back to back. Okay, so that means we're going to be having 2 meetings next month. Will that work? There's church timetable also that we have to put into consideration. Yeah, and check last Saturday of next month. Check last Saturday of next month. What's there? And then if we have to do it next month, that means we are going to have to divide our meat pie into 2. We'll eat one second Saturday and we'll eat the other one last Saturday.
Last Saturday of June.
Last Saturday of June. Don't mind me, I'm just teasing. You said
But there's prayer and fasting.
Prayer and fasting. Saturday
June.
of June. Mr. Shade, maybe we should. We'd love to have you, but if you are not around, no problem. No problem. Well, maybe we'll conscript Tolu. We'll conscript Tolu. You understand? So we just okay. So you want to say something? Sorry. June 12th. What day of the week is it? It's a Wednesday. This as well. Okay, so should we do the public holiday? Why? Although I work on public holidays though, but I could always escape. June 12th. What day is the Muslim holiday? 18th. What is it? Tuesday. The Muslim holiday is a Tuesday. And our normal meeting is supposed to be on what day? 8th. That means we have, okay. So let's agree. Should we move are we saying we should do no, I don't want us to do 2 meetings. I don't want us to do. Okay, Matt, we'll agree and get back to you on what day that so it's either we do it on the 8th, on the 12th, on the 18th. We're only having 1 meeting. But it will be nice if we have 1 meeting and we can do relationship and do finance. You understand? If we can do relationship and do finance, it will be nice. It will be, a ball. Yeah, as long as we can stay, it will be nice. How many of you would love that? You love that. Okay, I think yes. It's a very good day, really. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to hand over. Debbie, please, over. Please put your hands together again for our panelists.